Hi everybody and welcome to a live demonstration of Rustbot current Playground Alpha build. I'm just going to go through a couple demonstrations of current functionality of the game. Here we are. This is just the intro splash image. I just hit escape and power through that. Main menu. Here we can enter in a profile name. What you'll see here is we have load profile because I have an existing one just named Dude. And you see if I try typing that in, oh no, I can't use that name. So also if it's blank, completely blank, you can't enter anything. I'm just going to enter Mike. That's me. And here we are. This is the current world of Rustbot. This is just a simple height map that I have employed. It's not very expansive at the moment. I think it's like 2,000 by 2,000 or some like meters. With a little bit of detail on the ground. But here we have just a big block that's right in the middle of the ground that's essentially doing nothing. It's just standard default in this current new world map. And you'll notice up in the top right corner I have a little frame per second rate display, and in the bottom right corner there's two times. There's the daytime, which is representative of the time that's elapsed in the world itself, and then there's the game time, which is the total time spent in the game. In the bottom left is a window that's going to be the log. It'll keep track of items added, any manipulation done to the objects, like if you paint them or if you make joints or between objects, or add objects or remove objects. And we'll see that start to populate as we actually start doing things in the game. So from here, we've just got this big object, and that's not very interesting. So what I'm going to do is here I'm going to hit escape and bring up the menu and bring up add object. I'm just going to add a simple little box here. I'm just going to leave the dimensions as they are. These are obviously scalable. You can change them on as you like. And so you have the box, you have the sphere where you can just adjust the radius, or the cylinder where you can adjust the radius and the length. But I'm just going to stick with the box here and just add this to the world. And look at that, there it is. You'll see in the log that it has generated a line now that says plus box and the dimensions and the actual world location of it. So the box by itself doesn't do anything. What I have to do here is I hit escape and I bring up the menu again, and I can mouse over the object and select it, and if I right click, it comes up with a menu, and I can move the object. And this essentially works just like the gravity gun in Half-Life 2 and its episodes. I can push it out and bring it closer with the scroll wheel to a finite distance, obviously. Well, that just kind of plowed through the ground. Little fun there. So I can just bring this around and do whatever I want with it. I can actually fling it by clicking with the left mouse button and throw it. I can then grab it and bring it back, and it'll bring it right back. So obviously the idea of the game is to build things. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up to this big box here, and you see how there are the flashing red dots there. Those are essentially all the contact points that it's coming in, that are being generated as a result of it being in contact with the big green box. So with it there, I can right click it, and if I right click on one of those dots, it brings up a joint menu, so I can create a joint there. So now this has generated a joint right at this this dot right there, and so I'm now going to click on another one. I'm going to click that joint, and so now that should be glued there. So if I hit escape and return to the world, you'll see that it's now hinged there, right on the side of this box. So if I hit escape again and I can bring up the menu again, if I try moving it, it doesn't like that because it's glued there. So you'll notice that actually in the log that there have been a couple entries added, like when I added the box to the world, and then whenever those two joints were added between the two objects. So I'm going to hit escape again. I'm going to right click on the object, and from here I'm going to actually paint it, and it's actually with red, green, and blue hues sliders. I'm going to adjust the color. So I slide those and then I click anywhere in there and it paints it. You can't see it now because it's still highlighted, but all I'd have to do is left click out of the menu somewhere, and now you can see the color. And also down here in the log box it says that it was painted with the RGB values. So now what I want to do is I want to actually just add a sphere to the world. So here we have a big sphere, big metal ball, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it up, right up here. Oh, I don't want to actually nudge the big box, I just want to rest it there. Right click again, I'm going to right click that joint, create that, and now I'm out of that, and that's now going to be stuck there. If I take any old box, I'm just going to make something lengthy like this, so it's like I'm treating this now like a baseball bat. So I pick this up and I can hit that sphere, but it's not actually moving. It's moving, but it's not actually leaving the top of that box because it's bound there. So you can not only attach objects to other objects, but to the ground as well for making stable structures. So here I have this object is now in contact with the ground. I'm going to create a few joints on it and really nail it down. Right there, and the last one. And now if I get out of that, you'll see like I can run into it because the camera's bound to a physical object. I interact physically with the objects. And if I add another one right there, I'll pick this up, and just get it rested on there and make these joints. I think I got them all, but I'm not sure. Doesn't hurt. So now that's locked on there. And so what we end up being able to do is we can actually make large structures with all of this. Currently, I haven't yet implemented a feature to take this object, and once it's in my hands and move it around, I don't have a means to rotate it manually. So I'm kind of relying on it to fall into place. That'll be coming shortly. In the meantime, this is not too bad because, well, as you can see, it's kind of working a little bit. So now that's hooked up there. And if I want, I can just go ahead and paint some more objects. I can take this down and bring that value up and make that a little greenish blue or teal or whatever. Or I can take this one and bring the green down and bring the red and blue up and make it a purple. It's actually kind of hideous, so I'm going to change that. Maybe bring that up a little more, bring the red down. That's less hideous. So with all of this, what you can end up doing is make moving parts, because in addition we also have the cylinder, where if I want to make something with a large radius but a short length, this becomes a wheel. And if I want to add this, say, I'm just going to drop that there, and I want to add a cylinder that's longer but has a much narrower radius. So I'm going to take this, again, if I actually had the ability right now implemented to rotate it, then I would be able to get this straight up perpendicular so that I could attach it in the middle of that, and what you can then have is an axle for these two objects. But let's say I'm bored with this object and I don't actually want it in the world. I right click, delete object, there, it's gone. Voila. Just as well, there's the ability to delete joints. So that's going to not quite there yet, but it will be. And that currently is Rustbot in its current stages. So keep an eye on the progress, and follow my blog, follow me on Twitter, and hopefully we'll have something awesome to show in some time. Thanks for tuning in, and catch you later. Bye bye.